Good morning and welcome to the Killik & Co market update. It's been another volatile week for markets, and one of the key drivers of this is the state of relations between the US and China. Last week was actually a fairly good one for markets, and that was buoyed by the hope that a trade deal would be reached between the US and China at the G20 summit. However, at the start of this week, Trump issued a tweet saying, "I am tariff man." Here's the full tweet here, and it did cause quite a significant downturn in markets. Then later this week, we heard about the arrest of the chief financial officer of Chinese telecoms giant Huawei. She was arrested in Canada, supposedly on US charges, and the US suspects that the company has been selling US-made equipment to Iran, and that's in violation of sanctions. Now, Huawei is one of the largest telecoms companies in the world. In fact, it's number 2 in terms of smartphone manufacturing, ahead of Apple, and it also makes lots of telecoms equipment for countries around the world, including the UK. But there has been some concern that this could enable the Chinese government to penetrate foreign networks. And in fact, the US has been encouraging other countries not to use Huawei's equipment. And in fact, a lot of companies have been saying they will not be using the equipment for the next wave of mobile data, also known as 5G. So clearly China is furious about the arrest of the CFO, and it is concerned that perhaps this will hinder the trade talks between the US and China. So definitely a situation there to keep a very close eye on. Now let's take a look at the oil price, which has been in quite a steady state of decline since October. Usually when the oil price falls, the members of OPEC will get together and agree on an output cut. So yesterday we had a scheduled meeting with OPEC, but they did not manage to agree on a production cut. I think that did take the market by surprise, and yesterday we saw quite a significant further fall in the oil price. Now let's have a look at the countries in the world that produce the most oil. So as you can see by this chart here, the US is number 1. Now Donald Trump is in favour of increasing oil supply in order to bring down the price, and he refers to that as a global tax cut. So it's not likely that the US will be looking to cut down its production. Russia is number 2, and then Saudi Arabia, which is by far the largest member of OPEC, is number 3. Now Russia is not technically a member of OPEC, but apparently they have agreed to take part in these talks and to agree a production cut. But apparently the main sticking point in the talks is the extent to which Russia is willing to cut its own production. So we've got further OPEC talks happening today, and we will be looking very closely to see what the outcome of those are and to see what impact that has on the oil price. And last of all, yesterday we had a major outage on the O2 network, and for us that really highlighted just how dependent the world has become on mobile data. So yesterday the O2 network was down for the majority of the day, and it meant that a lot of the London transport was messed up because the signs saying what times buses and trains were coming were not working. It meant that lots of people were not able to work. For example, a lot of plumbers said they were not able to confirm or book in appointments, and also people working for Deliveroo and Uber were not able to work all day because they could not book any jobs on their mobile phones. So this really shows how important mobile data is as an ongoing theme. So please do give us a call if you'd like to talk to us in more detail about our thoughts on telecoms and mobile data. Now, moving on to the week ahead, we've clearly got this very important Parliament vote on Brexit, so that's something we'll be looking out for very closely. And in fact, JP Morgan released a comment this week saying they now believe the chances of a second referendum have risen to 40%. So all eyes next week will be on this Parliament vote. In terms of companies reporting, it's fairly quiet on the calendar next week, but we will be looking ahead to results from Ashtead. That's it from us. Have a great weekend, and we'll see you next Friday.